disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.
Welcome once again to another episode of Fists, Kicks, and Flicks, the podcast about martial arts, movies, and life. I am one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me this week, my two new podcast partners, Angel Diaz and Joe Hartley. What's up, fellas?
How's it going?
What's up, brothers? How you all doing?
Cool. So if this is your first time with us, I want you to know we're members of the Martial Arts Internet Network. On Tuesdays, you got CTE, Chris, Carlos, and Travis Experience. Wednesdays is us, Fists, Kicks, and Flicks with Gene, Mike, Angel, and Joe. And on Thursdays, you can get the Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. For more information, you can check us out on all of our social media platforms. Just look for the Martial Arts Internet Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Fellas, it's showtime.
Let's do it.
Let's get it.
So what's going on, guys?
Nothing much, man. How you doing?
Man, I'm cool, man. So let me explain to the audience what's going on. So from going forward, there's going to be 4 hosts of Fists, Kicks, and Flicks. Myself, Eugene Plowden, Mike Gibbs, Joe Hartley, and Angel Diaz. And the reason why I wanted to do that is because, as you guys see, Mike has been MIA for months. He has a lot of stuff going on, but I talked to him over the weekend. He said everything is getting finalized. He's going to be back on the show in mid-March. So until then, I didn't want to just sit around and wait. And I wanted to, bring some additional martial artists onto the podcast with me in case I'm ever unable to be on here. You two guys can still have a show. Or you two guys and Mike can still have a show, whatever. So if one person is down, the show can keep on going. We can still keep on putting out content for the network. So I could have brought 2 other people on that weren't martial artists, but I wanted to keep it martial arts because, we're the main gang, and now you two guys are the 2 newest members of the main gang. So
I like it, man. Thanks.
Welcome to the family.
Yep.
So this week, nobody really knows. I haven't made any announcements, but we are going to cover the first Karate Kid movie. And not only that, next week we're going to cover Karate Kid 2. The week after that, Karate Kid 3. Then we're going to get into seasons 2 and 3 of Cobra Kai. So we're going to just spend a lot of time over the next few weeks talking about Daniel LaRusso, Mr. Miyagi, Johnny Lawrence, Cobra Kai, and Miyagi-Do. How's that sound, guys?
That
Yes, sir. Sounds good.
Cool. All right, but before we get into it, though, I don't even know you, Angel. We had a couple of conversations. You messaged me a couple times on Facebook, and we had a couple talks. So, and I'm quite sure Joe doesn't know you either, and you don't know Joe.
I know he can fight. I seen his tape. I heard about him on the CTE and Inside Scoop. I know he can fight.
So we're gonna spend a couple of minutes just getting to know each other, since we're about to be business partners and podcast partners. So let's just get to know each other for a little bit before we jump into the movie. Okay? So go ahead,
Cool,
Angel.
no problem. All right. So for you guys that don't know, I'm Angel Diaz. I'm from Stratford, Connecticut. So just a little bit about me. So I started karate when I was 5 years old. For a lot of people that know me, karate movies is a big part of my whole family. My whole family does karate. My mom, my dad, and my brother. It's a family affair. We have our own karate school here in Stratford. So you guys may see me rep it every once. So they're going to be watching. They're going to be posting and sharing all that.
Okay.
Currently just got on a team, Team KTOC. So that happened after the virtual fight tour. A lot of people know me just because I've been on the show, been fighting, been around. I'm 23 years old, so I'm still young in the game. I'm just making my mark. I haven't done everything I want to do just yet, but it's coming. And yeah, man, this is a huge opportunity. I couldn't pass it up. Plus, this is what every Friday night, me and my brother watch Cobra Kai, watch a karate movie. So this is just fitting right in.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Now, Joe, I've known you for a long time.
Yes, sir.
You came to my uncle's school in what, 95, 96, around that time?
So I met your uncle at a karate tournament when I was 12 and started going to his karate camps about then.
Okay.
So that's when that kind of started. And then when I was about 15 or 16, so yeah, I think you're about right, about 95, 96, I actually left my karate school to come over and train with Team Plowden.
It's not you're not the only person that's done that. I mean, it's been quite a few people over the years who's actually done that.
People can think like, I know there was some issue with that for a minute, but it was a decision that was made with my family. It was a decision that was made for me just to get better. Like nothing against I got my black belt through that other karate school. I loved everything I went through there, brought me to where I was. But, Team Plowden took me to the next level. I wanted to go from Michigan to national to winning, consistently. So, and I actually got to do some of that on Team Plowden. So I really enjoyed it. It was a big part of my life. After, the tournaments and everything kind of slowed down for me when I got married at 22. And, I kind of stepped away from karate for a few years. And then it slowly pulled me back in actually right now through Kids Kicking Cancer.
Wait a minute. Wait. Did you say you got married at 22? Did I hear that right?
Yeah, I think, 24. Sorry.
Oh, I mean,
I got married because I turned 25 the 4 days after I got married, and then I had my first daughter when I was 26.
Okay, I never knew that. So okay.
Yeah, so my wife and I, we met each other. She was in college, I was working, and we spent 6 years together before we got married. So yeah, and then long story short, my son was 3 years old. He got diagnosed with leukemia. And so we found our way to Kids Kicking Cancer, which is, the karate part is run by Sensei Plowden, your uncle. Mm-hmm. And so I've been volunteering with that group. It's a fantastic group, and I'd be able to keep karate in my life through that right now. And it's been fantastic. The kids are all orange belts through Kids Kicking Cancer. I still have my black belt. I get to wear my black belt, and I get to help with Kids Kicking Cancer, which is currently virtual.
Uh-huh.
So, but we do the virtual classes as a family.
Okay.
And it's a lot of fun. And as far as martial arts movies goes, I've always been about martial arts movies. I've probably seen all the movies you guys have reviewed at least once, if not more than once. Bloodsport has always been my favorite movie. Y'all kind of dogged it, but I get it. I can speak my piece on that later.
Okay, all right. Well, it's all good, man. It's all good. So we gonna have some fun on these podcasts that we got coming up.
I'm just gonna interrupt real quick.
Whoa!
Like a wrestling fan,
here we go.
I'm gonna interrupt. Gene, I just want to know, why did you grab the Michigan Rodent and not the twin Greg, the Spartan? Huh? Why was that? You trying?
I'm not trying to do an all Michigan podcast.
Now it's you, Mike, and Joe.
Yeah.
What is really happening right now?
Joe
we got better opinions.
I'm gonna tell you the truth though. Honestly, like Joe and Angel they've spoken to me on Facebook about different things related to the podcast, so I knew they were listening. Greg has never said anything to me.
All right, I'm gonna leave this time. Y'all go back.
Man, I haven't spoke to your brother Greg in probably maybe 10 years. It's been a long time since I've talked to your brother or heard from your brother.
Greg's doing his own thing. He's got a little family going now and everything. So I'm trying to pull him back into the world. I told him about the podcast. He's going to start listening. He's definitely going to start listening now. I'm going to have to beat him up.
Yeah, are both of you guys still in Michigan?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I don't know why I thought y'all moved.
No, I'm still in the same area I grew up in. Greg's in like the New Baltimore, Warren area. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. Well, let's jump into the movie, guys. Karate Kid. Now, when I told you guys we were going to talk about this movie. Joe, you responded to me because you already know how me and Mike feel about Daniel and Miyagi though. And you told me that you're Team Miyagi though, and I just couldn't understand that at all. So go ahead before we jump into the movie. Like, what makes you be Team Miyagi though? And Angel, I'm gonna get to you next.
Gotcha.
You know what? I'm always when I watch a movie, I root for the good guy, man. I always have. I always just been that way for me. And I always root for the underdog. I kind of felt like I've been an underdog, you know, growing up in my life. Not even just in karate, just in everything that I've done. So I root for that underdog. But I'm gonna tell you right now, watching it again for the first time since watching Cobra Kai, I'm starting to lean a little bit more the other way. I'm not going to lie. It kind of bugged me. Daniel is whiny. I will give you that. There was some certain parts, but as far as Daniel being the instigator, I only saw that one time where I felt like he was more the instigator. But other than that, Johnny was pretty much a bully.
Okay. All right, Angel, I see you. You have something to say. What do you got to say about that?
Listen, man. You guys almost gave me a heart attack when I heard this close to a year ago when everyone was trying to say that Johnny is the good guy.
Yeah.
This is my whole thing, man. So I agree with Joe, right? The underdog, I root for the underdog. I feel the same way. I feel like I'm an underdog, and at the end of the day, there comes a time where a dog's gotta bite back too. Like you can't, you know what I mean? Let's just play it back, right? Let's just play it back real quick. In the first beginning, Johnny takes her stereo and breaks it because listen. If we're gonna take out what Danny did, just take it out real quick. Just look at what happened. He was defending her, right?
No.
You're killing me here, Gene, man.
I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, so Angel, do you have a girlfriend or are you married?
No, I'm not married. No,
okay.
I'm not married. I got someone.
Okay, so you're dating someone. Okay.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me that if you have a disagreement with your significant other, and someone that you don't know jumps into the conversation, you're not going to tell him to get the hell out of here?
Okay, yes. No, hold on. I will politely, because I'm probably going to be wearing Stratford shoulder kind of apparel. Just saying it one more time. I'm probably going to be wearing some apparel. So now this is where it gets to the part where it's like, if you look at me, I may look unassuming. And honestly, I'm going to be nice. I'm probably going to tell a person, like, you know what, hey, man, you know, this really isn't your fight. I think it's best if you just chill out. That doesn't mean I need to go break her stuff.
But no. But he came back. He told him to leave it alone. Okay, this is the beginning of the movie, so we can start right here. But Daniel had known Ali at this point for literally about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
He just.
But he couldn't look like a punk in front of her neither. Okay, you can call him stupid or you can call him brave, but you can't look. You're not going to punk me. You're not going to punk me when I'm trying to talk to a girl. It's not going to happen. I don't care if I'm butting in or not.
But go ahead. But he should not have been in their conversation. He should not have walked up. I'm gonna just say he should not have tried to be Captain Save-A-Hole. He should not have been that. No,
I agree. But the situation in a society where it's man versus man, okay, you're not going to punk me. That's all there is to it. You're not going to come up in front of a girl I'm trying to talk to. I don't care if she's your girl or not. She said she wasn't your girl. You're not going to punk me. Now, afterwards, he got his ass beat. That was stupid. But he was at least trying to be brave. You're not going to punk me. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, hold on. And I agree with you guys both as far as I'm not going to let anybody punk me, right? Now, let's look at the scene. Everybody knew each other except for Daniel. He was the oddball, right? There were a bunch of other guys who were standing around who knew Allie, who could have came to her defense if Daniel got too rough with her. They stayed out of this situation. Daniel kept inserting himself into the situation. He had no business doing that. He was the new guy.
So now this is my thing. I'm going to blame that on the friends that he surrounded himself with. Now, if we're going to look at that, they knew he was going to get his behind beat.
Well,
but they kept saying, "Go ahead, Daniel. No, don't take that. Yeah, go ahead." They were pushing him to be the hero. They were pushing him to be the hero.
But the one guy thought Daniel had some martial arts.
Exactly. That's it.
Daniel was a little bit. I'll give you that one. Daniel was a little bit iffy on saying, "Oh yeah, I know some martial arts," because he kicked a door.
Yeah. That is very true.
That was Daniel's bad.
Now this is my whole. Now if we're gonna talk about Team Johnny, Team Danny. This is my thing, right? You cannot sit here and say that he had to beat him that bad.
He didn't beat him bad, in my opinion.
He didn't beat him bad.
He didn't beat him bad.
He didn't beat him. So you're gonna tell me
he hit him with a turning side kick and a back fist. He could have done
a turning side kick. Let me just say, shout out to CTE. A turning side kick can break someone's ribs.
Yeah,
and stop a whole entire fight. I've just seen it recently. It is bad. Mm-hmm. Now, I've been hit with turning side kicks. Yeah. If it hits in the right spot, you may not get up.
Mm-hmm. And it knocks the wind out of you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he did that. Then he did an inside crescent kick, which then immobilized him.
Whoa! You skipped the part. Okay, you skipped the part because Daniel, when he hit him with the turning side kick, Daniel popped up and popped him in the face. Then had a smart ass comment about it.
Who wouldn't? If you just got hit with a turning side kick
again,
and we're trying to get punked. Again, if you just got hit with a listen, I'm gonna tell you now. This is for all the people out there. Don't ever be a bully. But if you are getting beat. This is my whole thing. You guys still talk some trash. You already started it. You got to keep it going.
Let me ask you guys this: did Johnny attack Daniel first?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
I don't.
He pushed the radio at him. He pushed the radio at him.
He pushed it. He gave it to him. Daniel tripped. He was clumsy. He tripped over some sand. He fell down.
He pushed that radio into him. He physically pushed the radio and Daniel at the same time.
And
now Daniel's reaction had to be, "Well, you just pushed me. I'm trying to mac with this girl over here. I'm trying to just talk to her, see what's up with her. My boys that I just came here with just thought I could do some martial arts, and now you pushed me. Now I have to defend the lie. I have to somehow just look like to her, well, I can handle myself in a situation, whether he could or he couldn't. That's neither here nor there. He had no choice, but at that point, an altercation is going to happen. At that point is when the altercation happens. So that once that happens, he had no choice but to go at him. My whole thing is, though, he didn't have to beat him that bad. As we know, we're taught control. He knew he hit him with a good turning side kick.
No. Johnny did not get taught control. Johnny was taught no mercy.
Wait, hold on. We're gonna get into that. Let's not even ruin that part yet.
All right, let's skip ahead a little bit. So, Daniel pretty much gets beat up at the beginning of the movie. Now, I wanted to go back a little bit further. So they left New Jersey. So we kind of skipped over this part. So Daniel and his mom are moving to California from New Jersey. Now, his mom tells him that they were going to move out there because she got a job in computers. That's the lie that he said.
Robotics industry or something like that.
Yes, she says that. And they drive that station wagon. She's awfully brave for driving that raggedy-ass station wagon from New Jersey all the way to California. That's a long time. And they know that it breaks down on them, and they have to, push it to get it going.
The clutch, make sure you're all good.
With the bike strapped on the top. That was my favorite part.
So they drive this car all the way down to Los Angeles, and they find an apartment. And the first thing that I thought of was, okay, this is a world that does not have the internet. How did she know where she was moving to? How did she know? I don't know. I really can't comprehend that because I was not an adult or a teenager at that time, and having to, make buy an airline ticket without the internet or look for an apartment without the internet. You're just going off of somebody's recommendations. I mean, she could have been in the hood. She could have been in Compton, you know, and they would have just, you know, just moved on in, you know. So they move in. Daniel's not happy to be there in the first place. So now let's move ahead a little bit. His mom in the apartment finds out that the sink doesn't work, and she sends him to find the maintenance man. And that's when he finds Mr. Miyagi, and Mr. Miyagi kind of blows him off. He's trying to catch flies with chopsticks. And he does it out. You would think the maintenance person would say, okay, I'll be there in an hour, or I'll be there in a little while. He just said, I'll be there after. You know, he just kind of blows Daniel off. So now we skip ahead. After the fight on the beach, Daniel goes to school. Him and his mom have a little conversation about his eye because she sees the results of the fight. Daniel's at school. My second problem, he's trying out for the soccer team. And Cobra Kai is there. One of the members of Cobra Kai is in front of him. They all see him on the soccer team, trying to try out for the soccer team. They all see him. And one of the guys from Cobra Kai wants to mess with him a little bit. Now, this was a bully move, in my opinion. But I still think Daniel was wrong. I see you, Angel. Okay. Now, I see you too, Joe. I see you shaking your head. Both of you guys shake your head at me. So, they're playing soccer. I'm quite sure people get tripped in soccer. I mean, you're trying to kick a ball, right? Daniel, you can't tell me Daniel remembered Bobby from the beach. He shouldn't have. The only person he should have remembered was Johnny, because that's who he had the altercation with. He should not have remembered Bobby. So when he gets tripped by Bobby, he gets up and punches Bobby. You mean to tell me that was okay? Y'all okay with that?
That was an intentional trip. That was not a tackle, a football tackle, as they would call it. Yeah. There's certain rules and regulations to that. That was an intentional, I'm going to trip you. They talked about it before, about messing with Daniel, so they knew what they were doing. And Daniel,
I'm not now you leave that part out. Here
I'm not disagreeing with that. You are 100% right, but my problem is Daniel does not know who Bobby is.
He don't need to. He knows he's Cobra Kai. You know
what, Gene? Hold on, real quick. Gene, I don't know why you're always picking out on Daniel's mistakes. For some reason, when Cobra Kai does something, it's like a little like, but they had wrong leadership. But when Danny wants to stand up for himself and he wants to, not be the underdog, he doesn't want to be bullied, then but he punched him for no reason.
No, I'm saying that because I've played basketball growing up. I played basketball, and sometimes if you're trying to go for a layup, you get hit with a hard foul. But you're not going to turn around and punch somebody in the face if they hard foul you. That's not
where are you playing?
If you're playing with a bunch of people that you don't know, you're not going to do that. Come on.
If I'm playing, it depends. If I'm playing basketball in my rough neighborhood, we may have to scrap if I get an elbow. It's a little different.
So you're talking about if you're someplace that you don't know with people you don't know, not people that you know, not people you're playing against people that you do not know. You mean to tell me if somebody hits you with a hard foul, you turn around and punch them?
No, I'm not gonna punch them, but we will go back to the beach. We'll go back to the beach. We'll go back to the beach, and now the talk happens. Now that's where the talk happens. But also, he's on school grounds. He does not think that he's gonna get a hard tackle like that. Again, what is he supposed to do? Do you want him to just take the beating?
You can't do that. And that wasn't a beating. He got tripped.
But here's my thing. He's on the defense now as well. After taking that beating, he is on the defense. I'm not saying it's right. I won't say it's right, but I'm not going to say it's wrong neither. He's on the defense. Anybody coming his way is going to get something. That's just all there is to it. And that was a flagrant foul. And I'm sorry, but I think I would have handled it the same way.
Oh, my God.
You got to let these people know that they can't keep messing with you. You got to stand up for yourself.
That's a good recipe to find yourself in jail in real life. You just can't go and punch somebody just because they do something like that. He got tripped. He did not get side kicked. He didn't get hook kicked. He didn't get axe kicked.
But this is the thing.
But it's a trip.
But this is the thing, though. He just got beat up at the beach. If you think that after that beating, he didn't know whose voices they were, who they are, regardless if he was looking at them, if he wasn't, Gene, you're telling me if something was to happen where it's more than one person and there's a group of them, you're not going to at least remember them because in case they come back around, you're going to have to worry. Then he's back on the defensive, like Joe said.
You know they're together. You know they're together.
There's plenty of time. No, man. There's plenty of times where I've met somebody. My girl's family. When I met her, I met them all at one time. I wouldn't have known them the next day if I saw one of them at Walmart and they said, "Hey, Gene, how you doing? I'm Crystal's cousin. I saw you yesterday." I know me.
We're changing circumstances. Hold on. We're changing circumstances. When I try to change the circumstance, you wouldn't allow it. No. That's why Joe's laughing. That's Joe's laughing.
That's the same situation. He should not have remembered Bobby. If Johnny tripped him, yes, I totally understand that. But there's no way he could have remembered Bobby.
Wait, what your example only works is if you met her family and then they jumped you. That's the only way it works.
Yes.
That's the only way it works.
No, you mean to tell me? So if he's walking down the hallway in the school and somebody bumps him accidentally, Daniel has the right to turn around and punch them in the face because they bumped into him and knocked his book out of his hand? Why is that any different? It's a trip. Why is that any different?
Because he knew they were together. How? They conspired because they were all on him.
No,
it wasn't just one. No, they were all there. They were all there.
You cannot tell me it's night. You guys are at the beach. You're by yourself because you're not friends with those other guys, really. So
but they were all together.
So
they were all together.
Yes, but that's what makes it even more unlikely.
No, they were together on the soccer field, so you know they were together. You saw them conspiring.
No, he didn't. Yes. Daniel did not see that. He was bouncing the ball off his damn knee. He was bouncing around. He was happy that Allie told him her name.
They surrounded him and then tripped him. They didn't just trip him. It wasn't just a random trip. I've watched it twice already. They surrounded him and then tripped him.
They did not surround him.
You're reaching, Gene. You're reaching, bro.
If you guys are listening and you see this link on Facebook, comment on it and you tell me if Cobra Kai surrounded Daniel on the soccer field before he was tripped.
Mike better hurry back. Mike better hurry back. Gene needs some help. Gene needs some help on this one.
You guys are crazy.
2 versus 1.
We gonna move on. We gonna move on from there. So after that, Daniel gets kicked off of the soccer team. You know, I guess he wasn't gonna make the team after that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, the director is pulling it up now. Okay, there we go.
Director Plowden. Yes, sir.
I'm telling you, you guys are not going to see Cobra Kai surround him. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
There's a couple of minutes after this.
Yeah.
But look at him. Look at him. He's already defensive. Look at how scared he is. You can see the fear coming off of him.
I see the bitch in him. Yes, I see it. I see it. It's right there. It's right there.
Now let's see how many of them are around him.
Yeah, we will.
It's not just a one-on-one. It's not one-on-one.
Okay. Right here, so right here we're seeing Freddie and all his friends that brought Daniel to the beach. They speak to Daniel, kind of tease him a little bit. Then Allie comes up and talks to him, gives him a soccer ball, and then she wants to show off her ball bouncing skills.
Go, Daniel.
Okay. And then after that, oh man, I got an interesting mind. Then after that, we see the part where Cobra Kai is standing behind him. Daniel's not looking at them. He's bouncing the ball.
Boom, boom. May I contact? Boom.
He's not looking at them. He's looking at the ball. He's not.
He knows they're there. He knows they're there.
If he knew they're there, you saw the bitch in him too. He would have ran away. He wouldn't have just stand there like that. If he knew they were around.
He's at school. He thought he was good.
Oh, you guys are reaching now. You guys are reaching. He is not paying attention to any of them. He doesn't see Johnny and Dutch watching him. He doesn't see Tommy and Bobby and Jimmy watching him. He's paying attention to the ball. That's all he's doing. He had no reason. He had none. Zero reason. Go ahead. Here's the part you guys are talking about. Where are they surrounding him? They're not
They're all
surrounding
right behind him.
No, that's not.
He's in the
He
center.
got no reason.
Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, you're going to tell me that's a legal trip. You're going to tell me
now.
that's a legal trip.
They come over.
That was 100% illegal.
I agree with that. I'm not denying that. But if I'm Daniel, if I got tripped playing soccer, I'm not going to jump up and punch somebody in the jaw.
But he knew. Did you not see how they centered the formation? He's in the middle. He had nowhere to go. His own teammates weren't even with him.
y'all reaching. Okay, let me get a mediator. Director Plowden. Travis, what do you think? Do you think Daniel saw them?
Yes, and I'm gonna tell you why he saw them.
Why?
Because I showed the first at the beginning of the scene when he gets to school. When he's staring at them, he sees Johnny and his friends, so he knows who they are at that point.
Yeah, I'm not denying that, but you're going to remember every single person, and you're
as a person.
You don't need to; they're together.
As a person who has been involved in many fights, I know who the friends of the person I got into a fight with.
Thank you.
There's no way I'm going to remember every single person, all five of them.
But
there's no way I'm going to remember all five people.
I'm looking dead at him. I'm seeing his friends. And then I'm like, all right, let me just get out of here and not be bothered with him. And then when he's not thinking about it.
Okay. So let me ask you this, Travis. So you saw him. So you mean to tell me that if he saw them in school and ran away, he's not going to run away on the soccer field?
You can't.
What do you mean you can't?
You're in the game.
Daniel, huh?
You're in the game at that point.
I'm not talking about that point. I'm talking about they said that they Angel and Joe feel that he saw them before the game started.
No. So what happened when I saw there was he was focused on playing. He was talking to his friends who abandoned him, and then they joked about him, and then they left. Then Allie walks up to him, and he's talking to Allie. At that point when he's talking to Allie, that's when the Cobra Kai people kind of were around, and Johnny was off playing in another game.
Yes,
right.
Yes,
but his friends were like right behind him. He's not paying attention at that point because he's thinking about Allie.
Exactly.
So, after that, he's not paying attention. So then now when they're playing, when he gets tackled, I don't think you guys heard it, but they were laughing at him.
Yes.
So he knew it was intentional.
The same way at the beach.
So he was intentional. So he knows that. But here's the thing that I do agree with you, Gene. He never looked up. He fell.
And he swung. He just swung.
So he probably just thought somebody was being an asshole, and Daniel just thought, I'm just gonna fight. And I think that's what happened. But I think he did know who they were, but I don't think they had anything about it. I think if one of those other kids who teased him, with that was supposed to be his friends, who teased him, I think he would have did the same thing because I think he was angry that they were clowning him. I think he was
a bitch. I agree.
You can't, man.
We gonna move on. We gonna move on from that. Okay, so after that situation happens, Daniel decides to go to dinner with his mom. Now this is another situation that tripped me out. He's having dinner with his mom, and his mom decides that she's not going to take the job in robotics. She's decided she's going to take a job as a manager. And I'm assuming at that restaurant that they were at. So she's going to leave the job that she had for computer and robotics to be a manager of a restaurant.
Yeah, I didn't understand that.
I didn't understand that either.
If only she would have known in the world we live in today, you should have taken that job.
So Daniel, before he goes to dinner with his mom, Daniel goes into the karate school. He sees a karate school on the corner, across the street from the restaurant. He goes inside because he's interested to get to training again. And once he goes inside, he sees that it's Cobra Kai, and he sees Johnny, and he immediately runs away again. He didn't decide to go and punch nobody or trip or wait after them. Nothing. He just decides to run away and leave. He goes to have dinner with his mom. She explains to him how excited she is about her new job opportunity. Class ends for Cobra Kai. They walk out, and Tommy sees Daniel inside of the restaurant, and he runs away. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but it's kind of bright out. So I'm thinking maybe 5 or 6 o'clock. It got dark quick. because when Daniel is riding his bike home, it's pitch black.
That's movie magic.
No, I'm just gonna say, okay, maybe it was like 6 o'clock when he started eating, and maybe he was there for an hour. 7 o'clock, okay, I can understand it being dark. Maybe I guess maybe 7 or 8 o'clock. But my thing after that was, okay, so Cobra Kai, they just hung around and waited. they just waited for him to get done for a couple of hours, huh? Because he's riding home all alone.
That shows the bully.
And they surround him. And this is another situation that I had. He could have just stopped pedaling his bike. He wouldn't have went down the hill.
Have you ever had a bike going down a hill?
Huh?
You can't just stop pedaling.
He wasn't going down. He was on top. Because we have an angle where we're down and we're looking up at him. And it looks like he was riding parallel. He was going straight. He was not going up or down. He was going straight. And when they came,
but momentum's going to take him forward, no matter what.
Now he's riding his bike. They're surrounding him. He probably didn't want to stop riding his bike because he figured they were going to beat him up. But look, they were on some type of gasoline powered motorcycles or mopeds or whatever it was that they had, and they were going to beat him up anyway, I'm assuming. But he didn't have to take that tumble down that hill. He wanted sympathy. You guys,
again, like I said, I feel like whatever he does to you is over exaggeration.
Well,
he didn't need to do this. But you know what? All right, hold on. Let's take it back. Let's take it back because I feel like we didn't discuss this part in the beginning. We're going to talk about this now. I'm going to tell you why I have very little sympathy for Johnny, right? I'm going to tell you why. Because through his actions and all the scenes we discuss, at some point, he has an impulsive reaction to something. And because of that reaction, that forces always an altercation. Something happens, whether it's a name calling, whether it's whatever. Now, we see at one point throughout the movie, it ends up switching. And now Danny starts poking the bear a little bit. That's where I wasn't on his side, right?
Me too. I'm right there with you.
Side. But my whole thing is when we're looking at Johnny, we gotta remember his reactions are not always best suited for the time.
Okay,
when we're looking at Danny, he's the victim. Well, let's not victim shame him.
Angel, let me ask you this. Angel, what did Johnny do to Daniel besides the altercation at the beach?
He put out a hit.
No, he didn't. He didn't put out a hit.
How did he not?
What do you mean?
The soccer field wasn't a hit. The soccer field wasn't a hit.
He just looked at his friends. That's all he did. He just looked at his friends, and they took that upon themselves to do whatever.
Cobra Kai created a pack mentality.
But what I'm saying is
one guy. They created a pack mentality.
But my question is, what did Johnny do to Daniel besides the situation at the beach?
Well, as we get later on.
Later on. Because Johnny left him alone before the Halloween dance. Johnny hadn't done anything.
So let's talk about Halloween dance because that's really where everything starts to really bloom out. So you're right. Before the Halloween dance, he wasn't really doing much. Now, hold on. Before we even get to that part, let's talk about Allie real quick.
Yeah.
Do you guys think she was innocent throughout the whole thing, or do you think she was playing both sides? Because she plays a very important part on why we view who is Team Miyagi-Do and who's Team Cobra Kai and who is really right and wrong. No one ever sees her side of the story in terms of how did she play them in a which way, which for our viewers, stay with us because once we hit season 3, that's going to come back into this. Just saying.
Well, it's hard to have an opinion because there's so many more opinions I have now watching Cobra Kai. But to watch this movie, the whole Daniel at the party thing, that's because Allie made him feel like Superman. And made him feel like he had to stand up. And that's why he did what he did. Which was stupid.
I don't
which
know
was stupid.
She's playing both sides. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think she's playing both sides. I think No, I don't, because I think Allie knew that Johnny was a hothead. Allie does not know Daniel, so she doesn't know that he is also a hothead, right? When Daniel is trying to teach her how to bounce the ball on her knee, there's a situation where Daniel has his back to Cobra Kai because they're up on the hill, and if you look at that angle, she sees them. And she knows that Johnny has an attitude. Johnny is crazy. He has some issues. So she takes the ball. She does not try to bounce it on her knee. She kicks the ball away because she knows Daniel has to go after the ball. So she wanted some separation because I think she knew that if Johnny came down right here, there's going to be a problem between Daniel and Johnny. So I think she tried to keep them apart from each other right then, right? She didn't tell Daniel to get in the tournament. She never told Daniel to. She didn't tell him to do anything. So I don't really see her playing, them against each other.
It's not about her saying something, but as we all know, right? It's body language and just different mannerisms can be. When she was, doing her tricks with the ball, she was a little bit too friendly, and it was a little bit too. Like,
well, she could have been trying to make each other. Okay, so
it's different because when you do that, then you're trying to make Johnny jealous.
Yeah.
What is that? How does that put Daniel now? Then that puts Daniel in a spot where he's thinking, "Oh, she likes me," and then the real behind the thing is, well, maybe I do like you, but I just also want to get him jealous, but that's going to create tension between now you and him. You see how this triangle is going?
It's not always. She likes the attention.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's
promiscuous.
Okay, we get ready to get into the tournament in just a second, but let's talk about Mr. Miyagi a little bit because we haven't even brought him up. So when he finally decided to come to fix the faucet, he saw Daniel practicing karate.
From a book.
From a book.
That killed me. That I can't get over that. From a book.
I guess. I mean, what else is he going to do?
I guess today's version is YouTube.
So yeah, exactly. So I mean, he had said that he had a couple lessons at the YMCA. So maybe he was a gold belt level or purple belt. Maybe
he was doing stretch kicks, Gene. He's a white belt.
What he said
all he did was take the beginner first day trial class. That's all he did.
Those were stretch kicks.
He told Freddie that he was at the YMCA for a few months. That's what he said. So Mr. Miyagi sees him, but Mr. Miyagi, he tells Mr. Miyagi that he fell off his bike or something like that, and Mr. Miyagi knows he's full of shit because he asked him, "How come you didn't hurt your hand?" Because he had noticed his eye. Daniel didn't give him any type of explanation or anything. Then again, Mr. Miyagi overhears the conversation of Daniel and his mother talking because after he fell down, being clumsy, fell down that hill, he's coming down the alley and he throws his bicycle away in the garbage, and he's having a little temper tantrum because he's tired of being bullied by Cobra Kai. Okay, I'm gonna say that like that. I mean, he was a little clumsy and they were teasing him. Okay, so he falls down. And Mr. Miyagi hears all of this. So now Mr. Miyagi knows that Daniel has a problem. He takes his bike out of the garbage dumpster, and he repairs it, fixes it, and gives it to him. So when Daniel comes home one day from school, he sees his bike and he goes, and him and Mr. Miyagi start to build a bond with each other, right? Now, let's get to the Halloween party. You guys cannot say that Johnny was wrong for that, right?
No.
Okay. All right. Fine. Okay.
Took it too far. In the end, took it too far. But again, going after him, I get.
Yeah. My whole thing with Johnny, man, this is always my thing with Johnny. There comes a line where he always crosses, and now it's like how I said, he starts to do too much, man. And I get it. He's with Kreese. We know that it's no mercy. That's the way he's taught. I get that. I understand that. But at the same point, when his other friends are saying that's enough, and he goes, no, he needs to get more. That's my whole issue.
That's because he bought into the whole Cobra Kai idea.
Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah.
That's because he bought into the whole Cobra Kai idea.
Wait a minute. You guys can't do that. You guys cannot do that.
Do what?
You guys had no problem with Daniel. You guys had no problem with Daniel attacking Bobby for tripping him. You guys had no problem with that for Daniel tripping him. I'm sorry, Bobby tripping Daniel. And you guys did not have a problem with Daniel defending himself from Johnny, right? On the beach. Y'all didn't have a problem with that. But you can't have a problem with him defending. He dumped a water hose on his head. Johnny was in the stall rolling up a joint, and decided, like, okay, he just dumped the water hose on my head. Okay, now we got to beat his ass. I don't know, man. Like, I probably would have snapped too. At this point in time, I had not seen the kid. We hadn't bothered him because they go through a little montage before we get to this point, and we see time pass. So it's the end of October at this point in time because it's the Halloween party. So he hadn't seen him since sometime in September, the second week of school.
No, I said already, Daniel was wrong.
Okay,
but Johnny took it too far.
No, I don't believe he took it too far.
He did take it too far.
Gene, let me ask you a question. Man, you are killing me today. Let me ask you a question. You're telling me if someone's holding you with your arms tight, right? You got to stand there. And I'm going to give at least 10 feet running distance to a jump sidekick to your dome. You're going to tell me I'm not going to kill you? It's a concussion. Can snap your neck. Like, what?
Yeah. I'm not saying I'm okay with what Johnny did. But you got to remember, we're talking about kids. So we're talking about people that's 16 or 17 years old. Kids always don't make the best decision. They don't think like how we think, right? Mm-hmm. So it's a fight. So, it actually was a beating. Like this right here.
Daniel did not put up a fight. It was just a straight ass.
No, he was running. He was scared. He was running.
Yeah.
But I don't know what Daniel thought was going to happen. Like, he knew, like, he had been getting tortured in his head this whole time. So why would you do something like that where you hadn't seen them in weeks? They haven't bothered you. Nothing is going on. So you decide, okay, well, now it's my turn to get back at you guys. And
he was absolutely wrong. Yeah, he was absolutely wrong.
I told you he was feeling himself.
Exactly. Allie, back to her. But now this is my thing though. So Gene, you're telling me you think it's okay when they said no, Johnny, stop, and he says no, we have to finish him. You think that was okay?
No. That was Tommy. No, was it Bobby? That was Bobby. Yeah, Bobby said that. Now, but you got to think like this. These guys, these are kids. Number one, number two, they have been brainwashed by John Kreese, their karate instructor, who we're going to get to in just a second. They don't know no better. These are kids who, just had the wrong instructor teaching them, and I'm quite sure, like, I know me and Joe never came up learning about no mercy and how to, beat up people, especially when you already got them outnumbered, Okay, I'm gonna go back a little bit. Do I think he took it a little bit too far? Yeah, probably so. But how many techniques did he hit him with? He hit him.
So he hit 3 or 4.
Yeah, like 3 or 4, but they were like significant blows. Like they're not like they were just like I'm gonna kick your leg out. It was like, but I'm gonna hit you like behind the knee, so it disables your leg. Like it's significant blows. That's my whole issue.
So now Mr. Miyagi, I guess he has super hearing because he hears this problem, and he jumps into action. He jumps over a fence. He's not. Listen, man, he's not. That was my problem. My whole issue was he got up the fence and then jumped off. And then, okay, on Mr. Miyagi's part, he did the same exact jump kick to the kid in the back. You can't. You'll paralyze him. That was my part. He nut shot at a kid.
Yeah, that was rough.
These guys are 16, 17 years old.
I guess we'll play devil's advocate here. He couldn't see them. He didn't see their faces. He didn't know.
He thought they were 30.
We'll play devil's advocate now. There you go.
So Mr. Miyagi beats up all of the kids. He takes Daniel home, and he he helps him out, and he puts not Band-Aid, but this headband on his head, and he helps Daniel out and gives him something for his injuries. We're going to fast forward because Daniel is talking to Mr. Miyagi. He's letting him know that, I got this problem with these guys. This is the type of karate that they're learning. Mr. Miyagi tells him that, maybe you should go talk to the instructor. Daniel doesn't really want to, but Mr. Miyagi says, well, I don't want to get involved. Daniel asked him to come too. And he said he didn't want to get involved, but Daniel tells him that you're already involved. You got to help me out. They go to Cobra Kai, and we're introduced to John Kreese. We see him teaching the class. Johnny tells Mr. Kreese what happened. He comes over and he speaks to Mr. Miyagi, and he's ready for them to fight right then and there. Mm-hmm. Daniel,
of course he is.
That Daniel would have gotten hurt if they decided to fight inside of Cobra Kai. That wouldn't have ended good for him.
Good teaching by Mr. Miyagi. Knowing, man, if I let this kid go out, he's gonna die in here. So let's hold them off now. But as we keep going, I'm gonna explain to you where I think the movie could have took a left turn. So I got you.
So this is one of my other issues. So Mr. Miyagi recommends that we'll settle it at the tournament. There was no guarantee that Daniel would have ever made it to fight anybody from Cobra Kai at the tournament. So the situation would not have, if he would have lost his first fight, the situation would have still just escalated and just continued going forward. Because I'm quite sure that they would have wanted to get some type of revenge because they wouldn't have been able to get to him.
Yeah. Now, what did you guys think about the agreement that was made?
I think it was dumb.
Now, this is why I stopped being on Daniel's side at this point in the movie, because of the agreement. Because after that agreement, what does Daniel do when he sees him at school?
Oh,
starts messing with him.
Yeah.
You can't poke the bear, man. You gotta just shut your mouth, train, be quiet, be humble, let them do their thing. You guys meet up. You can't say now that I'm not gonna get touched. Hey, man, what you gonna do now? Go ahead, touch me. Do something. No.
Yeah.
Daniel is petty. Very petty.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, I think Daniel acts just like Johnny. They're the same to me, and especially as you watch Cobra Kai, we definitely see that they're both very, very high headed. The thing is, I honestly, as I watch Cobra Kai, when something happens, you can see Johnny get upset, and Johnny initially, it's almost like he's thinking about, should I punch this dude in the face? Should I do it? Now, Daniel, on the other hand, is real mouthy. He's a mouthy person. Like,
we hate those people.
Yeah, exactly. Like I could see myself punching him in the jaw. Like if he say the wrong thing, like I can really see that.
So now you saying that, okay, I see Johnny's point a little bit, because my whole thing is, those people, the ones that talk a lot, and you just like, man, but I know you can't fight. Like you're talking all this, but I know you can't fight. Like don't even start this problem. Like I know you can't fight. I know, I got you.
It's normally the one with the biggest mouth that can't fight.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Very
so
true.
let's move forward a little bit. So we're not gonna really get in too much of all of the different stuff that goes on from this point on. So we have the situation, and they're gonna fight at the tournament. Now throughout the movie, we see Daniel training and Mr. Miyagi's unorthodox martial arts training. That was. It's just stupid to me. Have them painting the fence, painting the house, waxing the cars, sanding the floor. That type of training, it was just.
I think the training itself, it's it had its own method, right?
Why do that?
That's my thing, right? So I didn't agree with that part. But
Whoa!
think
hold on, Angel. Joe just said, "Why not?" You mean to tell me that if you came to my uncle's school and we were all in there painting the wall, you would have stayed and hung around us?
He's the best. Why wouldn't I stay?
Oh, Joe, you're getting brownie points. I love it.
He's the best. Why wouldn't I stay? I gotta give it a chance.
So
I'm the type of dude. I'll give it a chance.
So you would have been like Gene, Travis, Ski. They all in here painting the walls in here. Well, maybe this is why they out here fighting good. Let me
I'm
go
getting
ahead.
beat by y'all. There's a method to your madness.
I got you.
So I'm good with it.
So my thing with that, I think I think there's a valuable lesson you can learn from that, and I think it still applies today. Gene, Joe, I'm sure you guys will probably agree with me when I say it. It's the fact that he did repetition, and you need to hide repetition in just many things. As we know, repetition is the mother of all skill. So I think he should have had him do some high blocks, right? Do some middle blocks, and then have him go paint the fence. Don't just have him paint the why doing it. That's my problem with all of it.
I got you.
But Mr. Miyagi was smart because he waited for Daniel to question his methods.
Yeah.
And then quickly, just with a little bit of an extra instruction, showed him how they worked.
Exactly. You're right. But I don't think that bullshit would have worked in any tournament.
I think you're right too.
There's no way. Daniel. Okay, so we see Daniel and Allie getting a little closer. They start dating. And Johnny finally gets to get a chance to get revenge on him. So Daniel and Allie have a date. Daniel shows up to the country club to pick Allie up for the date. And Johnny sees him. He's being a creeper. He's looking through the window from the kitchen, and he sees them dancing with each other. So Johnny sees him and decides to get some payback because Daniel's been bothering him. So he gives Allie a kiss, and that pisses Daniel off. And he's about to run away, but he runs into a waiter who spills spaghetti on him, and the whole country club was laughing. I thought that was kind of bold because these were not kids; these were grown adults.
That's kind of childish.
Yeah, I can't really
Very
see
childish.
I can't see grown adults just standing around laughing at some kid.
And now one person decided to go help him or see if he's okay. Yeah,
exactly.
Not at all.
So Daniel leaves, and then we find out Daniel has a birthday. The day right before the tournament. So this is my other issue. So Daniel had just turned 16. So Daniel's a senior at 16, which means he started high school at 12.
They have child geniuses back then, man. You don't know that?
Because I was doing the math in my head because Daniel had to have been turning 16 because the following year for the Karate Kid 3, he's still able to compete in the under 18 tournament, which means he had to have been 17 to compete in that tournament. So he had to have been turning 16 right there, and I just kind of worked the math backwards. I
never even did that before till right now.
Not even a bit.
Anyway, that's right. So now we get to the tournament. I think Daniel should have gotten his ass kicked in the tournament. He shouldn't have won the first fight. And my other issue with this is how come he fought everybody on Cobra Kai except for Jimmy, but he fought everybody else.
Let me just say before we get into that, respect to Vidal. Vidal was a real fighter. Yeah. Respect to him. That was why all the scenes were with him. That man was a bad boy back in the day. Yeah, back to what you were saying. Yeah.
And he also he was the guy that was actually on the beach doing the crane on the stump. That was actually him pretending to be Mr. Miyagi. But I always I remember being a kid watching that part of the movie, and you knew that he was different. He was not an actor just by how he was moving when he was in the ring. You could tell. Yeah, you could tell that he was a real martial artist.
Slick dragon tail sweeps to a hook kick. He was slick with it. He was slick.
Yeah.
Give it to him. My whole thing was this. My thought was I thought Kreese had that rigged. That's what I thought.
It's possible.
It looked like it. It just because at one point you just started looking. You're like, man, how many black uniforms is he gonna go up against? And at one point, I'm not gonna lie to you. I kept thinking, I was like, oh, he's gonna lose. He's gonna lose every single fight.
He should have. He should have. Me and Mike talked about this before. I just really cannot see someone who was technically a white belt or maybe at the most a gold belt being able to compete in the black belt division and win.
With a stolen black belt.
I was about to say that. I was about to say, Mr. Miyagi had to put a lot of faith. All right? And listen, at one point, Mr. Miyagi said in the movie, there is no such thing as a bad student, only bad teacher. And that made me say that was a bad teaching moment that you just taught him. Just saying.
So he goes on into the tournament. He fights, he competes, and I don't know, man. It seemed like it was a whole lot of other divisions going on around the tournament. If you look at the aerial view that we got, but still at the finals, it was just the 16 and 17-year-old. Maybe they had other division finals that we just didn't get to see or whatever. But I
didn't
was
see
like,
one kata.
I was thinking
one
like,
form.
Didn't see one kata. Broke my heart.
I was just thinking like, damn, this is a big ass division. If Daniel is able to fight 4 members of Cobra Kai and also one other guy, his very first fight.
What do you have? Like 8 fights, 7 fights?
Yeah,
something like that. I mean, that's a big division. That's a big tournament, you know. So he's able to go through.
Hey, that's the '80s for you, the golden era.
So he's able to go through all of them, and then finally, it's in the finals. I always wonder what happened with him and Dutch. And then I looked it up, and I guess there's a scene that was cut, and actually Dutch gets disqualified when he's fighting Daniel. That's how Daniel was able to beat him. Now, Bobby.
They said he was disqualified.
Huh?
They said he was disqualified.
Yeah.
No, I never heard that.
Yeah, they said right after it happened, they said he was disqualified, and Daniel had 15 minutes to get back to the ring.
No, that's Bobby.
Dutch,
yeah, Dutch was the other blonde kid.
Oh yeah, you're
real
right.
slick back hair.
Yeah, the one that you know, he really had a problem with Daniel in the locker room. You know, he wanted to fight Daniel right then and there. But now, if I was Bobby, I would have been upset too at Kreese because you know, he said, "Sensei, I could beat this guy." You know, so Bobby he's another guy who's a real martial artist. And he ends up kicking Daniel in the leg, and he's instantly remorseful. He gets down, he apologizes for hurting him, and Daniel gets carted off. And like you guys said, he has 15. Like Joe said, he had 15 minutes to recover.
I was going to ask you if you felt like that his apologizing was real or sincere.
I think it was sincere because you know what? Okay. Throughout the movie, you saw Bobby, and this is no shade on everybody else, even though I'm sure they won't care if we say this, but he was the one that had morals throughout the whole movie. Like you could tell, like everything for him was like he would do because it was what Cobra Kai's way, but he had like a moral issue when he told Johnny like that's enough. That was like the moral side of him. It's like, nah, man, like we already beat his ass. We don't need to kill him.
So, yeah, exactly. Now, and also, if you remember the beach scene, after everybody is leaving and Daniel's laying in the sand crying, Bobby is standing there watching him. He's looking at him, and he looks like, damn, he really got messed up. He looks a little bit remorseful at that point. Also, but then again, the next scene we see him on the soccer field and Daniel gets tripped, so you never know. But I think at that point in time, I think he was remorseful.
Now, do you think he broke the leg, or do you think he just like bruised it? Charlie Horse,
he just bruised it. Daniel probably not got kicked. He probably never got kicked in the leg before. Didn't know how to handle it.
He probably never sparred. We don't know.
I'm quite sure he hadn't sparred before. He didn't know anything because when he got to the tournament, he asked Miyagi, "What are the rules?" Mr. Miyagi said, "I don't know."
First time you.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. Hey, let me tell you something. For the people that want to watch again, and I know this will drive Coach Plowden up a wall. Look at his angles that he took for a reverse punch. It was some of the worst angles you ever seen in your life. Terrible.
All right, so we're gonna get ready to wrap it up real quick. I want to talk about the very, very end of the movie. So Daniel and Johnny are fighting in the tournament. I want to talk about one of the most controversial points, the crane kick.
Oh, don't you dare start, man! I will.
People talk about this all the time. People always say, you got people that say that it was legal. Some people that say that it was illegal. What do you guys think? Was it a legal kick or illegal?
Legal. And I know you're gonna say illegal because you just want to be to the left.
No.
Where do we get the rules? Where did we ever get the rules?
So we didn't, but I'm kind of conflicted. Okay.
So my
only reason
why did you say it?
Why I'm conflicted?
Yeah.
Because I know that when I was coming up, I started competing in '88, and in the '80s and the early '90s. You cannot make face contact. You can make head contact, but you couldn't make face contact in the junior division, in the Pee Wee division, in the mini Pee Wee division. You couldn't make face contact, but you can make the head contact to the side of the headgear. So a front snap kick to the face would have instantly been or point to the other side.
That's old school. You did this. That's old
Exactly.
school.
Exactly.
That's old school.
That would have
Okay,
been.
but how many times did we see Johnny roundhouse kick people in the face and get a point for it?
I always saw him kick somebody in the head.
I saw him
Or-
kick him right
I didn't see
across
anybody
the face,
Or
right across the cheek.
Or how many times did we see him do the dragon tail sweep? It's like a back fist to the face while he's on the floor. That was ground fighting.
Yeah, I saw Daniel. Daniel got a point for ground fighting also, but but this is early '80s. I don't know what the rules were. I didn't fight in the '80s. I fought with gear on. I know my uncle at the time that he was fighting, they didn't wear gear. So I can, the rules could have been different for that time in the early '80s. I don't know. But anyway, so
My reason why I say it was legal, right? Because at the end of the day, if we look at it real close, Johnny engaged, and when he engaged, he dropped his center mass, which now where his chest would have been, his face became in the same target area.
well,
So it's tough.
Well, like my uncle always says, you can't complain about 1 point. Daniel shouldn't have been able to score the other 2 points. So Johnny really can't complain too much about that 1 point as far as losing. So that was fun, man. That's Cobra Kai. I'm sorry, not Cobra Kai. That's the Karate Kid 1. Next week we're gonna talk about Karate Kid Part 2. What do you guys think about that movie?
That's my favorite one.
That's your favorite?
That's my favorite one.
I like the first one. The first one to me is the best. The second one, they try to put more of like a story and a plot to it, which I thought was cool, but I don't know. It just made me feel like what he did all that for one was for nothing.
And I guess
I'll give you that one. I do understand what you're saying.
I actually like Part 3 the best.
Oh, yeah, I can't, man. But you just
I like Part 3 the best, but I don't like Mike Barnes as a person. Like, that kid got some issues. He has some serious issues in his head. But I just like the story. I do like the second movie. The second movie, if you really think about it, really wasn't too much about Daniel. It was more so about Mr. Miyagi and giving us his backstory and what happened with him and why he left Okinawa. So we're going to get into that next week. That should be another fun show. You guys got anything to say for closing? Anything?
First things first, just say thank you for having me on the show. Everyone that's listening, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share, get it out there as far as you can, because this is going to be the next biggest thing.
There you go. Now, it sounds like you're putting out a challenge. You trying to challenge the rest of the main game and all their shows. We trying to see who
Listen,
has the most
I'm just saying right now. I'm just saying right now. Listen. If we were, you know what? Let's do a challenge. Let's do it. 1 month. 1 month. I'm challenging Los. I'm challenging Chris. I'm challenging Inside Scoop, Alex and Jeff. 1 month. Who gets the most views, comments, shares, subscribes, everything.
Wait. Hold on. Let's do that. Let's do that in June or July. Let's do that in June or July. Let's build up our listeners.
Bring in the fire. Let's do it.
I'm coming for everybody. That's what I do. I'm a dog out here.
All right. Any closing remarks, Joe?
You know what? Just same thing. Thank you. I appreciate it. This has been great. I'm super excited to work with you guys and just be a part of this whole thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So once again, this is Fitz, Kicks, and Flicks. Make sure you listen to us every Wednesday. Jane, Angel, Joe, and Mike. Angel, you know what? I do a comic strip. And one of my characters is named Angel. So when you see it, don't think I made it after you or anything like that. I created the strip way back in the day, and I still put out strips every now and then. So when you see Angel in the strip, don't take nothing.
Hey, just letting everybody know, when they made Cobra Kai, they made it about me because, Miguel Diaz. I'm Angel Miguel Diaz. Just letting you guys know that. Okay?
Wait. Is that really your middle name?
My middle name's Angel Miguel Diaz. That's what I am.
God.
Hey, I'm just on the come up. That's
cool.
all.
That's cool. So for everybody here at the Martial Arts and the Network, everybody that's on the main game, we will see you guys next week. Make sure you guys check it out on all of our social media platforms. Just look for the Martial Arts and the Network. Director, play my music.
Disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught. to more young men.